As a macro photographer or someone planning to get into macro, you've probably heard certain things about macro photography that have made you go like, "What? Wow. Oh, you mean it?" Yes, we all have. Even I have. So, are these things really true? Well, in this video, I'm going to debunk several myths about macro photography. So, let's get to it. If you are new to the channel, my name is David Joseph. I'm a pro macro wildlife photographer based in Nigeria, and I make videos like this and more. And to find out the more, you have to check out the channel. If you aren't already, do consider subscribing, and if you aren't considering, maybe by the end of this video you will. That may not be one of my best intros ever. So let's get to the first myth. The first thing about macro photography I hear people say a lot is that you need expensive gears to get into macro photography. While that may be right, it's not always true. You see, I got into macro photography with just my phone and an external macro lens, specifically an Apexel 100mm lens. That is something you can build with just 200 USD. So how cheap or how expensive is it to get into macro photography? It's very cheap, seriously. And you could even do it with a phone that's even cheaper. An Apexel lens is just like, it's cheap. I don't know the exact price right now, but I know it's not expensive. And we all have smartphones. I mean, if you're watching this video, you have a smartphone. And most smartphones nowadays come with macro lenses, either internal ones or just even without needing that, the main camera can still do it. So do you really believe that it's expensive to get into macro photography? I don't think it is. You don't need expensive cameras, expensive macro lenses, and all of that. And let me tell you, some of the best photos that have been taken in macro photography were taken with cheap gears. That's just how it is. So, macro photography is not expensive to get into it. You just have to love it and it's going to work out. The next macro photography myth I want to debunk is that rare insects make the best photos. Well, rare insects can, of course, make great photos, but a lot of times you probably don't know this insect's behavior. You've probably never seen this insect behave in certain ways to know, oh, this is the best behavior or the best way this insect can be or the best case scenario for this insect. And also, you probably won't have a lot of time with that insect. When I say a lot of time, I don't mean having to photograph the insect for like 5 minutes. Well, that is so much time. I mean having to see the insect again and again, different species of it, different size of it, all of that. So, rare insect, yes, it can make a great photo. But I think the best photos you are going to take are going to come from the common insects that you are going to see again and again, doing things different and different and different every time you see them. This could be a spider, this could be a frog, or just any other simple thing. You don't need the most exotic species to be able to get great photos. So, rare insects, while they can make great photos, nope, they aren't necessary for great macro photos. Besides, some of the photos that are the best in macro photography, winning the competitions and all of that, they're just photos of basic insects that you can see everywhere. Yes, insects and bugs. So that's it. Similar to the previous point is that you have to travel to exotic places to find interesting macro subjects, and that is a very big lie. Right now, there's a bird making whoop 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 sound, and I'm not even in the bush. I'm going to pause so you can hear it. Did I say I'm not even in the bush? I meant I'm not even in like Costa Rica. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, this place is not very far from my house. I don't have to travel to Australia, even though I wish I traveled to Australia. But you get the point. If you live in certain places where there are bushes around, all you have to do is get into the bush and you're going to find cool subjects to photograph. If you have a garden, even in your garden, you can find lots of cool subjects and scenes to photograph. It's that simple. You don't have to travel to Malaysia if you can't travel to Malaysia, which by the way, if you do, it would be amazing, but you don't have to if you can't. So, in situations where you can't you take good pictures? Of course, you can. In your garden, anywhere, in the local park, literally anywhere. That's the best thing about macro photography because life is everywhere, even in places you don't expect them to be. And that is something I love so much about it because I mean, I'm not able to travel to the places I'd love to travel, yet I'm still able to keep up in my own way. So, macro photography, do you need to travel to exotic places to get cool shots? Yes and no, but no, you get the point. No. You can do it in your backyard, you can do it in your garden, you can do it in the nearby bush, anywhere. The next macro photography myth I want to debunk is that sharpness is everything. Well, it's nice to have a sharp image in macro photography, but I'll be honest, sharpness is not everything in macro photography. Composition, how interesting the scene is, the behavior of the subject, and even the beauty of the subject itself, but the beauty is not a standalone thing. They all make up what makes up a great macro image. Sharpness is overrated to me. I mean, it's not about having to take a picture and then send it to Lightroom or whatever app you use and then turn up the sliders. No, no, no. A lot of times that makes the image less interesting to me. I'm drawn towards the lighting, the composition, the behavior, like the scene itself. What is the subject doing? And maybe if the subject is unique, how you're able to highlight that, the story that the image, tells, not just sharpness. I'm not saying you should take blurry pictures or pictures that are out of focus. That is different. Out of focus pictures, very different from pictures that are sharp and not the sharpest. So if you are being obsessed over how sharp your image is and trying to maybe upgrade your lens because you feel it's not sharp enough, I don't think it's necessary, to be honest. And a lot of people are going to agree with me. It's not necessary. Just try nailing your lighting, your composition, all those other things. They matter more than sharpness in a macro photograph. Similar to this point is that the subject must always fill the frame in macro photography. Well, it's not necessary that you must always fill the frame in macro photography. While filling the frame can make things appear larger than life and, just macro-ish, big macro-ish, all of that, you don't need to always fill the frame. I don't like filling the frame. Yeah, because it makes it hard sometimes. And it's not that I can't, or it's not that I'm, trying not to do it because it's hard. I mean, I can do the hard stuff, but I just like my image to have breathing room. Not even for cropping, because I started photography with a phone, and with a phone, you don't have many pixels. You don't have, I'm not talking about the fake 50, 108 MP and all of that. You don't have that much room for cropping. So I learned to shoot as if I won't crop. And a lot of the photos I take, I don't even crop them. So in macro photography, it's not necessary that you have to fill the frame. And I see people take this to an extreme whereby they take a picture that actually doesn't fill the frame, but because they think they have to fill the frame, they crop the picture to fill the frame. It's not necessary. Just let the picture be the picture. Let the picture breathe. Give it room to grow, to bloom, to blossom, and all the synonyms you could use. So yeah, you don't have to fill the frame. Just get a nice picture, let it be nice, the lighting, the colors, everything, the composition. Do not fill the frame. It's not necessary. Another quick one, because the sun is coming up and it's getting very hot because Nigeria is hot. Macro photography is about tiny things only. Nope, 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 nope. That isn't it. You see, the thing about macro photography is that it's about showing a subject in its real life form, 1:1 or beyond. And a lot of times, yes, while we are drawn towards the small things to try and magnify them, you could also do macro photography on big things and show parts of it now magnified. For instance, I'm wearing a black tee right now, and this is big. But if I'm to photograph it in a macro photography way, what I'll do is I'm going to get close and maybe show a thread or a yarn. That there would be macro photography because I'm revealing more detail about this cloth than you would see with your natural or naked eye. So macro photography, it's not just for small things, it can also be applied to big things. The next myth I want to debunk is that natural light is better than artificial light in macro photography. I feel this could be a theory that's propounded. I think I'm getting too scientific now. By people that don't want to embrace artificial light or aren't able to just master and control artificial light in macro photography. Yes, natural light is very good, superb, seriously, but it's not better than artificial light in macro photography. And when I'm saying artificial light, I don't just mean naked artificial light. I mean artificial light that is diffused. See, I think 99% of my macro photos are taken with artificial light. It's not 100%, but 99. And that 99 could have a point like 99.3, 99.5. Yes. my photos are taken with artificial light. And if I don't tell you, you may not know. You may think it's natural light. So that is like, yes, I've mastered how to use artificial light and make it look very natural. So do you still think natural light is better than artificial light? Natural light is good but has several flaws, like it's not consistent. It comes out certain times of the day, especially the ones you want, like golden hour, and you don't have natural light at night. And because of natural light not being consistent, you can't use it for certain things like focus bracketing, because when you're stacking it, the colors are going to be, just different, the lighting and just how it's going to appear. And then natural light cannot freeze certain subjects, like if you're photographing a flying insect and all of that. This isn't me saying natural light can not be good or any of that. It's just me saying artificial light is better. Besides, with natural light, you have to open up your aperture to its widest open, or something wide enough to let in light. And because of this, because you're trying to let in more light, you're definitely going to lift up your ISO, reduce your shutter speed, and all of that. But with artificial light, you don't have to do any of that. You can close up your aperture and still get your subject to be bright. Still use your base ISO, a fast shutter speed, and if you close up your aperture, you're getting more of the subject in focus. So, what then makes you feel natural light is better? Believe me, using both and taking advantage of both is just the best thing. But saying that one of it is better than one, especially if I feel it's the wrong one, is not right. So, natural light is not better than artificial light in macro photography. And if you want more on this, there's a video on the channel that talks more about this in detail. So you can check it out to find out which one is better and which one you should use between natural light and artificial light. Well, I think there's always going to be more myths to debunk about macro photography, but this is where I'm going to stop today. I'm David Joseph at ABCD David, macro wildlife photographer based in Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you do right now. And if you want to support the channel, there's a buy me a coffee link in the description, and every coffee means a lot to us and helps us keep making videos like this. Bye.